Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to learn algebra. Today is our lesson number 87. Lesson number 87. We are in the process of learning 86 through 100. We are in the process of learning how to solve linear equations. Yesterday was our very first day, so we are in the very beginning stage of the concept. The equations are very straightforward, very simple, but we're going to spend 15 days on it. We already spent one day yesterday. Today is our second day. 86 through 100. Let's see what we have for today. Here's the first problem. 3x equals negative 11. 3x equals negative 11. Somehow we have to get the x by itself. How do we get the x by itself? Divide both sides of the equation by 3. As we divide both sides of the equation by 3, this top 3 cancels out with this 3 and we end up with x equals, right here, x equals negative 11 over 3. Voila, that's your answer. That's our answer. Let's do next one. Which of course makes sense, negative 11 over 3, because 3 times negative 11 over 3, 3's are going to cancel out and we end up in negative 11, which is what we had on the other side. Let's do one more. Next one, 9y equals 15. Again, we have to get the y by itself, and in order to do that, we need to somehow get rid of the 9 by dividing both sides of the equation by 9. That's how we say. Divide both sides of the equation by 9. So if you do that, this 9 cancels out with this 9, and y would equal 15 over 9. How can we reduce it? Well, divide the top and the bottom by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 3 divided by 3 is, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the answer is 5/3. 5/3. Let's verify it. Let's make sure it's the right answer. Let's verify it. 9 times y, we were told, equals 15. 9 times y, which we know now is 5/3, equals 15. Let's see if it makes sense. Now this 9 here that you see there, even though it's written 9, but technically speaking it is 9 over 1. So this 9 and this 3 we can cancel out. This 3 cancels out with this 9 3 times, and 3 times 5 of course is 15. It makes sense. Let's do the next one, number 3. Number 3, 51a equals 39. 51a equals 39. I need the room. It's getting too crowded. I'm going to get rid of it. The answer for this one was 5/3. How do we get rid of 51 from here? Well, divide both sides by 51. Divide both sides by 51. This 51 cancels out with this 51. We're left with a equals 39 over 51. 39 over 51. How can we reduce it? Well, of course, obviously we cannot divide either top or bottom by 2, and even if we could divide top or bottom by 2, it wouldn't have done us any good, because in order for us to reduce it, we have to be able to divide both top and bottom by 2, not just one or the other. But of course here, neither can be divided by 2 because they are both odd numbers. So let's try 3. Can we divide 39 by 3? Of course we can divide 39 by 3. How do you know if a number is divisible by 3? Do you know? It's a very simple way to tell if the number is divisible by 3. Where can I put it here? I put it here. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, then the number itself is divisible by 3. So this is going to slow me down quite a bit because I have 10 problems to do today. And this is going to make the video very long, but that's okay, as long as we're learning something. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, the number itself is divisible by 3. For example, what's the sum of the digits here? If you add the digits, 3 plus 9 is 12. 3 plus 9 is 12. And I know 12 is divisible by 3. Well, if 12 is divisible by 3, then 39 must be divisible by 3. And of course, we don't have to make any fuss about it because it's very easy to see that 39 is divisible by 3. If I were to divide 39 by 3, I will get, there is 1 3 in 3, and there are 3 3s in 9. Is 51 divisible by 3? Well, let's find out. 51, if you take the sum of the digits, is 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. And since the sum of the digits, which is 6, is divisible by 3, then 51 must be divisible by 3. 51 is divisible by 3. We'll see it here. 51 is divisible by 3. How do we divide 51 by 3? Well, how many 3's in a 5? 5 has 1 3. And then the remaining 2 there goes and joins this guy. Now, mind you, this remaining 2 that I just said is not actually 2, it's a 20, because this 5 is not a 5, it's in a 10 place. That 5 is 50. You see, when you write 51, this is not a 5, it's a 50. It is 50 plus 1. This 5 right here represents 50. So the remaining 2, when it goes and joins this guy, the remaining 2 is not a 2, it's a 20. So the remaining 2 goes and joins this guy, becomes 21. And how many 3's in 21? 7. Very good, voila. There are 7. So 51, again I'm going to do it one more time. Divide 51 by 3. There is 1 3 in 5. The remaining 2 goes and joins this guy, becomes 21. There are 7 3's in 29. So the answer is 13 over 17. Let's do it here. 13 over 17. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then, bloody hell, how do you become 15? It should be 51. And then 51 divided by 3. There is 1 3 in 5. And the 2 goes and joins this guy, becomes 21. And there are 7 of them. So the answer is 13 over 17. 13 over 17. That's it. That was our answer. Let's go to the next one. Number 4. I very much want to spend more time on this concept here, but I'm not going to because I want to finish the problems that we have. Otherwise, I won't get to go through all three. I won't get to all of them. I have 10 of them here. The next one is 4b equals negative 7. How do we get rid of the 4? Well, divide both sides of the equation by 4. This 4 cancels out with this 4, and b equals negative 7 over 4. Voila. Let's go to the next one. Number 5. Number 5, I need the room, I need to erase stuff. X over 4 equals negative 7. Now this is a tricky one. Pay attention. Now the 4 appears in the bottom. How do I get rid of this 4? See, before, had it been 4x equals negative 7, we would have divided by 4. But here we have to do the opposite. 4 appears in the bottom, which means we have to multiply by 4. Multiply this equation by 4, and multiply, not this equation rather, multiply this side of the equation by 4, multiply the left hand side by the 4, left hand side of the equation by 4, and multiply right hand side by the 4. And as you multiply the left hand side by 4, I'm going to erase this 5 here so it's not confusing. This 4 cancels out with this 4. We are left with x equals to negative 7 times 4, which is negative 28. Negative 28. Which of course makes sense because if x is negative 28, then negative 28, what we're claiming is that negative 28 divided by positive 4, what we're claiming is that that equals negative 7. Which of course is thus, because negative divided by positive is negative, and 28 divided by 4 is 7. That's all. Let's do one more. What number was this? This was number 5. Let's go to the next one then. I need the room again, so I need to erase everything. Number 6. X over 7, or another one, x over 7, the same one, same kind. X over 7 equals negative 5. How do we get rid of the 7? From the bottom here, multiply both sides of the equation by 7. Multiply this side by 7, multiply this side by 7. And put the negative 5 in the parentheses so it's easy to keep it separate. So this 7 cancels out with this 7, and x equals negative 5 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35, and negative times positive is negative. This 7, when we wrote 7 here, is technically positive 7. Technically speaking, it is positive 7. We just didn't bother to write the positive sign in front of it, because most people don't. It's just understood that if there is no sign in front of the number, it's positive. The answer is negative 35, which makes sense because negative 35 over a positive 7, 35 over 7 is 35 divided by 7 is 5, and negative divided by positive is negative. You see? So it makes sense, it's negative 5, you see? Let's go to the next one, number 7. This video is going to be very long, but that's just the way it is. As I explained to you already, I'm trying to squeeze all the work that I had for linear equations in these 15 days, because I want to start the word problem with 101. Oh, that was great. Now I forgot where the hell we were. I think it was number 6 we are at. X over 7 equals negative 5. Multiply both sides by 7. This 7 cancels out with this 7, and x equals negative 7 times 5, which is negative 35. Let's go to the next one. Number 17. Number 7 rather. It says m over 5, negative m over 5 equals 9. Now that's a strange one. Negative m over 5 equals 9. Well, first thing first, we have to get rid of this 5 here. Multiply this side by 5, which is technically 5 over 1. And since we're multiplying this side by 5, we have to multiply that side by 5. This 5 cancels out with this 5, and we end up with negative 1 equals 9 times 5, which is 45. How do we get rid of this negative sign? Well, technically speaking, we should have multiplied this thing by negative 5 here, but anyway, let's multiply both sides of the equation by negative 1. So negative times negative is positive, so m equals negative 45. Negative 45. Now another way we could have solved the same problem is, I'm going to do it on the top. Another way we could have solved the same problem is that instead of putting negative here, we could have put this negative at the bottom here. We could have written this thing, negative m over 5. Negative m over 5 can be written as m over negative 5, positive m over negative 5. And we are told that that equals 9. Now it's easy to see. Multiply both sides by negative 5. Multiply this side of the equation by negative 5. Multiply this side of the equation by negative 5. This negative 5 cancels out with this negative 5, and m equals 9 times 5 with a negative sign, negative 45. Voila. This was number 7. Let's go to the next one. I need the room again, so we need to get rid of everything. Number 8. Oh. N divided by negative 12 equals 0. Now the question is, what number divided by 12 will equal 0? Well, here's the answer. 0 divided by any number. 0 divided by any number. 0, if this were 0, in other words, multiply both sides by negative 12. Let's do it step by step. To get rid of this negative 12, in the bottom, multiply the top of this equation by negative 12 over 1, and we have to multiply this side by negative 12. This negative 12 takes out this negative 12. We are left with n equals 0 times negative 12. Well, 0 times anything is 0. In other words, the question was, what number multiplied by negative 12 would equal 0? The answer is 0. 0 divided by any number. Not just negative 12, but 0 divided by any number would equal 0. It doesn't matter what you have in the bottom. But the top has to be 0. That's the only way you're going to get 0 on the other side. It doesn't matter if the bottom is negative 12 or negative 22 or negative 20 million. If the right hand side equals 0, then the quantity that we're dividing must be 0. That's the only way you can end up equal to 0. Had the top been anything other than 0, it will never equal 0. It will never equal 0 because any number divided by some other number which is not a 0 will not equal 0. That was number 8. Let's go to the next one, number 9. 9x over 5. 9x over 5 equals 5. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm trying to squeeze too much stuff, and this is getting me too much. I like to go at a leisurely pace, and right now I'm not at a leisurely pace. How do we get to 5 at the bottom? Multiply this side by 5 over 1, multiply that side by 5 over 1, or just 5 if you like, because 5 over 1 is the same as 5. I just write it like this way so it's easy to see that we're crossing out this thing here. So we end up with 9x equals 25. So far 9x equals 25. Now we have to go one more step. 9x equals 25, we have to get rid of the 9. Divide both sides by 9. Now this 9 goes out with that 9, and x equals 25 over 9. X equals 25 over 9. Let's do the very last one, number 10. Again, I need to erase it. We need the room. Negative 3p over 7. Negative 3p over 7 equals 2. Now you see this negative, it's up to you. You can pretend that this negative belongs to the top guy, or you can pretend that this negative belongs to the bottom guy. It doesn't matter, it's the same. Because negative 6 over positive 2 equals negative 3, but so does positive 6 divided by negative 2. So it doesn't matter which one you call negative and which one you call positive, as long as they're opposite, it will equal negative 3. That's what's going on here. I can put that negative, I can give this negative and say it belongs to the numerator, or I can say that this negative belongs to the denominator. I can't believe I said numerator and denominator. Usually I say top and the bottom. So let's give it to the bottom guy. Let's give it to the bottom guy. We're going to give it to the bottom guy because it makes it easier for us to get rid of the negative sign and the 7 at the same time. Let's multiply both sides of the equation by negative 7. So this negative 7 goes out with this negative 7. We end up with 3p equals 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. Now we have to get rid of 3. So in order to get rid of 3, divide one more time by divide one more time both sides by 3. And now the top 3 will take out this 3, and we'll be left with p equals, right here, negative 14 over 3. Negative 14 over 3 is the answer. Voila. I was planning to do 5 questions in a day, but like I already explained 2 or 3 times, the schedule did not permit me. I want to start the word problem with day number 101 so that we can keep track of how many we have done from 101 through day 200. We're going to do 100 word problems. I have already made, as I speak right now, 63 of them. I'm working on them. And after you finish the 100 word problem, you'll be fairly good at solving them. The fear of the word problem should be gone if you do the proper work with me. That's a big if, and that's up to you. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow on day number 88. Okay? Alright, bye.